This week on Your Newsroom.
Students gathered at the Wildlife Center to learn about Georgia Southern's connection to nature.
Hundreds of students networked with employees at the career fair.
And Georgia Southern's women's soccer faced off against Texas State in a hard-fought match. Lastly, the Georgia Southern community paid tribute at a vigil honoring Charlie Kirk.
If it matters to you, it matters to us, and it all starts right now.
This is Your Newsroom, with our team of reporters in the field covering the stories that matter to you. Now from the Georgian Media Group, this is Your Newsroom.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Your Newsroom. I'm Alexandra Wilgroth.
And I'm Michelle Andreo. The Georgia Southern Wildlife Center is bringing students and the community closer to nature. I have the story. Georgia Southern is known as the home of the eagles, but at the university's Wildlife Center, raptors, reptiles, and other birds have found a home as well. Their mission is to connect people with wildlife, which is done through their daily education programs and facilities that are open to the public.
Students are completely free to visit, which is pretty awesome because we do have, over 18 acres of property that students can come watch the shows. They can come and sit in the amphitheater or the pavilion and do homework. We do have a lot of students that like to hang out at the duck pond and just watch, just get some zen between classes. It's a great resource for students in that aspect.
Freedom the Eagle was an integral part of the Wildlife Center and Georgia Southern as a whole. Recently, a new eagle has made her way to the university and is currently being trained as Freedom's successor.
Being at Paulson Stadium, there's 25,000 screaming fans, so it's a very slow and steady process to get her to trust her handlers and just be comfortable in those situations.
It's unknown when she'll be ready to make her first public appearance, but the Wildlife Center staff is optimistic about her progress so far. In the meantime, feel free to visit the Wildlife Center on Mondays through Fridays at 3:30 p.m. for a variety of educational programs.
That's kind of what he's using his eyes to zoom in on too.
With themes that range from wonders of the wetland to birds of prey, these programs give visitors the chance to ask questions, learn, and get up close and personal with the animals. At the Backyard Neighbors program, guests were given the opportunity to meet a turtle, snake, 2 types of owls, and a hawk. If you're interested in attending one of these programs, be sure to visit the Wildlife Center's page on the Georgia Southern website or GS Wildlife Center on Instagram. Reporting for Your Newsroom, I'm Michelle Andreo.
Thanks, Michelle. Students also had the opportunity to meet future employers at this year's career fair. Your Newsroom's John Wright tells us how it went.
The All Majors Career Fair was a great opportunity for students to network with future employers. Companies from all across the U.S. came to connect and recruit students. The Career Showcase Week is a series of networking events for different majors. Career fairs are one of the most common ways students land jobs after college.
85% of all jobs are found through networking, professional networking. So it's super important for students to not just get internships, but actually meet professionals, and this is a great place to meet them. So our students today are meeting with major companies throughout the U.S. and the Southeast to find out about internship opportunities and full-time work.
Georgia Southern alumni Sky Zelnick told me he landed a job through the connections he made at last year's career fair.
This time last year I was actually on the other side of the table, so it's a little weird for me being on the recruiting side, but I am a Georgia Southern alum. I am in a position now where I am training for a year, strapped to a senior mentor, learning the business, just in the field. It's a lot of out-of-the-office stuff, but in a year from now I will be moving to a new position and really taking on a full-time role.
This has been one of the many events held for Career Showcase Week. This is John Wright with Your Newsroom.
John, are there any more career fairs or events coming up?
Great question. The School of Human Ecology is hosting a networking event on Wednesday, October 1st from 5 to 6:30 in the IIB building.
Thanks for the info, John. And finally, hundreds of students gathered on campus to honor the life of political commentator Charlie Kirk. Your Newsroom's Chloe Peacock reports.
People gathered on Friday to mourn and remember the late political commentator Charlie Kirk at a vigil hosted by Georgia Southern's Turning Point USA chapter. Countless vigils have been hosted across the country to honor Kirk, many of which have been on college campuses. Quote, I don't believe there is anyone who's had more of a profound impact on the generation of young conservatives as Charlie, end quote, Speaker of the Georgia House of Representatives John Burns said. Kirk was largely known for his podcast, The Charlie Kirk Show, and his organization, Turning Point USA. Turning Point USA has over 3,500 groups on high school and college campuses. Political science professor Dr. Laura Wessel spoke to Kirk's skill set with younger audiences. Quote, in a political environment that is largely controlled by older Americans, Mr. Kirk's youth likely contributed to his influence among younger people. Wessel claims that, quote, the political climate at any point in history will likely have an influence on the types of organizations that develop and their likelihood of success, end quote. At the Vigil, multiple speakers reiterated the message that Kirk's influence has only and will continue to grow larger after his death. Quote, Charlie, he lit the torch. Now it's our turn to carry it, end quote, said former executive member of Georgia Southern's Turning Point USA chapter, Jacob Russell. Former president of Georgia Southern's Turning Point USA chapter, Ben Mincy, spoke on the vast influence that Turning Point USA has had in the past few weeks, citing their almost 800 new Instagram followers and almost 178,000 views on their profile. Quote, Kirk's death has lit a fire in people, a spark within them. New resolve. This is not something we can back down from, end quote, said current chapter president Cody Garcia. Turning Point USA members stayed after the vigil to speak with students who wanted to get more involved with the chapter. This has been Chloe Peacock.
Very interesting, Chloe. On the field, Georgia Southern women's soccer took on Texas State in a close match. Your Newsroom's Alexandra Wilgroth has the story.
Georgia Southern fall sports are in full swing, and the Georgia Southern women's soccer team are no exception. In women's college soccer, action Thursday night, the Texas State Bobcats edged out the Eagles in a 1-0 scoring game. The match was close and both teams were closely contested, the only goal scored in the game taking place in the second half by the Bobcats. The Eagles came out with momentum, dominating possession with several drives down the field. The shots on goal were very close, with Georgia Southern outshooting Texas State by 12-11 shots. The single goal was made in the 60th minute, made by number 2, Maddie Sumer. It was a through ball to the left side of the box and gave Texas State the lead. Defensively, both teams held strong, but the Texas State goalie showed out, blocking numerous shots taken by the Eagles. Texas State did hold a big edge with corner kicks. They took 6, while the Eagles only took 2. The Eagles now look to their next Sun Belt matchup. They have a couple more home games coming up this season, so show out to Bo Pittsfield to support your Georgia Southern women's soccer team. For now, this is Alexandra Wilgroth in Statesboro reporting for your Newsroom.
Before we go, here are some events around Statesboro this week that you don't want to miss.
This week starts National Hazing Prevention Week. Come out and learn how you can prevent hazing.
Thursday, you can enjoy and engage in a lockdown at the clubhouse from 10 p.m. to 1 a.m., including bowling, laser tag, and more.
Lastly, enjoy beachy vibes, mocktails, and a taste of homecoming at Tropical Teas next Tuesday.
Thank you for joining us this week for your latest updates. We encourage you to connect with us on social media at @your_newsroom.
For now, for Alexandra and for all of us at Your Newsroom, I'm Michelle, and we hope you have a great week.